Welcome to the Farm Stand Kitchen. My name is Rebecca, and today we're making pie, cherry lattice pie. We've been talking about this all day today. I posted the picture and got you guys all excited about it. So we're gonna make it. This is still just a tad warm on the bottom. I've been waiting for my pie to cool so we could cut into it, but we're still gonna cut into it. It's gonna be fine. I can tell you this, I know for a fact, when this pie cools, it doesn't run. It stays really nice and firm. It's a great pie recipe, but I can still feel just a tiny bit of warmth underneath here, but we're gonna crack into it anyway. So let's go ahead and get started. Now I'm following the recipe today in the Farm Stand Collection Cookbook. We've been talking about this too, and this is on page 142 of the cookbook. And I also want to say to you guys, now, I've already prepared the pie crust for this pie, and we've already done this together. A lot of you that's been with us for a long time, you remember the Pie Crust 101. Now, that's in our video playlist on the Facebook page. So for those of you that have not seen that video, you can look it up. It's like a 22-minute video. We show you exactly how to make this pie crust. And I have had people, tons of people, tell me that they watched the video, have never made pie crust in their life, and they nailed it. So it's a tutorial. It's kind of long, but I show you exactly how to do it. It's a real nice, tender pie crust. You can do it. Go watch the tutorial. And you're going to be cranking out some pie crust, I guarantee you. But so I've already got my pie crust in here. And then we have the other one for the lattice. So this part is done. This recipe is also in the cookbook as well, my tender and flaky pie crust. So you can find both of these recipes in that cookbook. So let's just set this here. And we will go ahead and just talk about this. So what I'm using today, I had TART red cherries in the can. Now I've used my frozen cherries for this recipe as well, but if you use this brand, this size of can, this is a 14.5 ounce can. If you use this, you need 3 cans. Otherwise you need 5, it's like 5 cups. You need 5 cups of cherries. So you could even buy frozen ones in the store. You could use those as well. That's going to work for you too. So here we have our 5 cups of TART red cherries. That's what we have in the bowl here. And I did drain those. So let's go ahead and add the rest of our ingredients. So here, if you follow the recipe, we have a cup of sugar. And then we're going to add our 3.5 tablespoons of cornstarch. We have just 1 teaspoon of fresh lemon juice. We're going to put a little salt, a little pinch of salt, and then I add some vanilla to mine. And we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. So we're going to put that in there. Now you could put almond if you would like to use almond instead of vanilla. That's perfectly fine because a lot of people like cherry almond. So you could also do that. So let's just go ahead and mix this all up. So we're just gonna, this is all there is to it. I just want to get it mixed up. And then we're going to put it in our pie crust. Okay, so that's what it looks like. That's all you have to do. And see, it has this nice juice on it mixed with your cornstarch. Ooh, that smells good. Let's just stir it till your sugar, you don't hear any more crunch in your sugar there. All right, so let's get our pie crust over here. And then we're going to go ahead and just put this right in. just even those out. And now we're going to add just 2 tablespoons of cubed butter. We're just going to sprinkle that on top. I hope everyone is surviving being in your homes. The COVID-19, I tell you what, we have been getting a lot of messages because everybody's home. Everybody's, we're trying to find things to do, and we've been answering your messages and trying to do a few things to keep it interesting and not so boring. So we thought, heck, we'll just make a cherry pie today. That will be fun. Okay, so we just have some dots of butter on there. All right, so let me move this out of the way too. We're gonna have to get our other crust. So I'm gonna scooch this over, and then we're gonna get our, all right, so I already rolled this out. This is my other crust. This is just my little leftover there. So I'm gonna get this off of here. I'm gonna take it off the pan as well. Okay. Now, in the cookbook for my pie crust, it is a double crust. So now we're going to make our lattice out of this. Okay, so I have made 2 types of lattice crust. There's one called fattest because you make really wide strips. You make just like 2 or 3. And so that's kind of fun sometimes. But we're going to go ahead and just do the traditional lattice. Now, I just freehand this. I don't really have a technique. I just kind of go for it. And that's what I love about homemade pies. I like for them to look homemade. I don't like for them to be super perfect. I just like for them to look delicious. So let's go ahead and just cut some strips. Now, what I'm using here is just a little fancy little cutter. You can just use a knife. You don't have to have one of these, but we're just going to cut some strips. So I'm just going to even that up there. This just puts kind of a little fancy edge on it. And here again, there's not really a lot of rules. You guys know I do not like rules. So we're just going to cut some strips. And this is probably more than we need, but that's okay. We make a little thing with the leftover pie dough called doodads. My mom and grandma used to do that for us. It's one of those kitchen memories we'll never forget. You put a little butter on the leftover pie dough, and you put sugar and cinnamon, roll them up, kind of like a crescent roll, and then you just pop them in the oven. They're so good. Love doodads. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna start with my, the biggest one here in the middle. I'm gonna scooch just a tad, Dave, so you can get back just a little bit there. Okay, so we're gonna put it right there. And then we'll take this one. And we'll just kind of put it right there. And we'll put one here. Let's just go with a short, see if we can use this one here. It's pretty good. And this one's a tad shorter. So we'll put this one over here. Okay. Now we're going to go with this one here. So then you want to start here. And then you just want to fold up like this and like this. Oh, we picked up a little piece of butter. And then you just lay one here. And you put these back down. And then you put this one. Then we'll go ahead and put this one. I think we can get one more in there, so let's go ahead and then you flap this one up. I smoosh this one just a tad. And put that one there. And that's all there is to it. Just made a lattice crust. It's so easy. There's nothing to it. So let's go ahead and now see if you see where you kind of missed. You can just do it like that. That's what I do. If I see kind of like where I missed something, then I'll just correct it. That's why I like to leave the tails. So like this one here. There we go. Just like that. Okay, now let me get this out of the way so we can kind of crimp the edges. And get going with that. Got so much stuff in here. Okay, all right, so then you can just I just kind of pinch these off and then I tuck them underneath. So you just want to tuck your pieces underneath. If they're a little long, just tear them off. So just keep pinching and tucking. So what we got here, that one's okay. That one's just a little long, so we'll take him off. This one's definitely too long. Take a little off of that one. Okay. And you can just work with it. If you need to move it around a little bit, just move it around. I love to make homemade pies. I like to make all kinds. Probably fruit pies are probably my favorite because they're just so pretty. But I love cream pies. Coconut cream pie is one of my favorites. Okay, so we got all the way around. So let's go ahead and just kind of tack them in place. And then this is the way that I flute, like this. I just take my 2 fingers and then my thumb and just kind of flute all the way around there. You just put your, hold on, and then you just pull up with your thumb. Just go like that. This is the way my mom and my grandma taught me how to do this. Now sometimes I crimp edges too with a fork. You can do that too. But this is the way I was taught how to do the fluting. And it's super easy. Makes a nice little edge. Just like that. Okay, now look at that. Isn't that so pretty? So pretty. Okay, we're gonna brush just a little milk on here. I just like to put just a little bit of milk. This is gonna give you a nice crust on your top. It's just a pastry brush. So we're just gonna put that on here. There's no rules about this either. Just get a little on there. Okay. That is good enough. And then now you can just use regular sugar. I just sprinkle a little sugar on these as well. And this is just sanding sugar. It's like for decorating, but you don't have to use this. You could just use regular granulated sugar. I just like to put it on there because it just makes it bake nice. All right, there we go. Now, I bake mine on a sheet pan. So I would just put this right on here like this, and then pop it in a 375 oven is what I put it in for. And you want to bake it till your crust is nice and brown. Your pie is bubbling. So it's going to look like that. Looks good, doesn't it? And then you just take it out and you let it cool down. and it's so good. It's so delicious. So let's cut some. Oh, I want to tell you guys about this. This is a pie guard, the edge guard. And when your pie is baking, I always put this on here, like after it's been in. I bake this pie for right about an hour, and probably at 35 minutes is when I put that guard on over it, just like this. Just put the guard on, and then your crust won't get super dark, and it just turns out all the same color. So that works really, really well. So let's just crack into some of this. I'm kind of getting hungry too. So we'll just have some pie, Dave. I know Dave wants to have some pie.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Like I say, I know this is still just a tad warm. We haven't baked a cherry pie for a while. I can't remember the last time we baked a cherry pie. Can you, Dave? I just don't. I think it's been a while.
I know it's your dad's favorite.
It is. It is my dad's favorite. That's for sure. He loves cherry pie. Okay. Oh, I love this crust. It's so flaky. Hey, we didn't do too bad. Looky there. That was pretty good. It wasn't as hot as I thought it was. Oh, that is so pretty. Woo, this is going to taste good. Let's get a little ice cream. You want ice cream, Dave?
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to get you a little ice cream here. Holy smokes.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be so good. Why not? We need some good stuff in our life right now, don't we? We do. Okay, there we go. You guys will have to try it. This is our cherry lattice pie.